This is Neymar, the kid who could do the impossible with a ball. The man Brazilians called the Rio on the street, the player who lit up Santos and then the whole world. But fame didn't just bring goals and trophies. It brought problems, injuries fight with expectations, scandals that followed him for years. This is the short story of how Neymar became a superstar and how things went wrong. Neymar was born in Mogi das Cruzes, Brazil, and grew up in a football house. From tiny pitches to the big U fields, he showed something different. Balance, quick feet, and a change of pace that defenders couldn't read. At Santos, he wasn't just another youngster. He scored when it mattered, he dribbled like an artist, and he made fans believe a new Brazilian star had arrived. And by the time he was a teenager, people were already talking about him as the next great Brazilian forward. That meant that Santos gave Neymar a stage. He won trophies and helped the club win the South American equivalent to the Champions League, and he became the club's poster boy. Scouts from Europe came to watch. Neymar's style was a perfect mix of flair and productivity. Flashy moves, yes he had that, but rule and product too. European clubs saw a global star in the making. And then it happened. In 2013, Neymar moved to Barcelona. Suddenly he was at one of the best clubs in the world, playing with Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez. That trio, Messi, Suarez, Neymar, became a nightmare for defenders. Neymar learned to be clinical, to combine flair with tactical intelligence, and he won big trophies in Spain. His time in Barcelona showed he could shine at the very top of European football. Then came the record move in 2017. Paris Saint-Germain paid a world record fee to sign Neymar. The transfer made headlines everywhere. At PSG, he carried huge expectations. The club had spent big and wanted him to be a star who would bring a Champions League trophy to Paris. On his day, Neymar was unstoppable. Insane skill, quick thinking, and an eye for a killer pass or goal. But being the most expensive player in the world also made every mistake bigger. Neymar's time in Europe was a mix of brilliance and bad luck. Injuries interrupted seasons. Big matches were sometimes missed. Every time he came back, people asked, is he still the same? The constant rehab and rest made it hard for him to build long runs of form. That's part of the history. Elite talent slowed down by too many stops and starts. Then there were the off-field stories. Over the years, Neymar was linked with headlines that had nothing to do with football, like legal battles, public arguments, and a very public investigation around an allegation that got global attention. At one point, a major sponsor said it had ended its deal after concerns around an investigation into claims made against him. Neymar denied wrongdoing, and some investigations were later dropped or proved complex in court. These incidents changed how the public and some companies saw him, and they followed him into every press conference and match. After PSG, Neymar's career path took another turn. He moved to clubs outside Europe and eventually to Saudi Arabia with Al Hilal, a move that surprised many fans who expected him to stay in the Champions League hunt. His time there wasn't what people predicted. Limited appearances and growing questions about motivation and fitness. These choices signaled a shift from chasing the top European trophies to other priorities. In January 2025, Neymar announced the return to Santos, the club that made him a star, saying he wanted to find his form again and prepare for another World Cup. The homecoming was emotional and big for fans, but return didn't fix everything. Results were poor, pressure from fans grew, and the team had some heavy defeats that even led to coaching changes and public shame. The comeback that was supposed to heal his legacy instead put a spotlight on how far things had slipped. So where does this leave Neymar? He will always be one of the most naturally gifted players of his generation. His highlights will stun kids for decades. But the full story is complicated. Genius on the pitch, but a career interrupted by injuries, big money moves, and off-field problems. For fans, the question is simple. Do you remember the magic or do you remember the mistakes? Maybe both. Either way, Neymar's story is a warning. Talent can take you to the top, but everything else decides if you stay there. That's all for this time. This is a totally new channel, so it would really help if you could give me some feedback with comments or a like and maybe subscribe to the channel. See you.